Judy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
I'm going to run our logo and make everything official. There we go. So you did many things on this film. Yeah. You work in a husband and wife team, which I am familiar with. My wife is an actress / producer, so from time to time we work on films together. 27 Down. This is the feature film, an ambitious one at that. It's a 2-hour crime saga, detective story. Where did the idea originate, and how did you come to be involved in this film?
Well, the idea came from John. He had an idea running around in his head, as he said, and originally I had never been involved in movies or that kind of thing. It was always his thing. And he was working with another independent film company and had never been behind the scenes. So he asked to work behind the scenes and see how things went. And he and the director owner, they just weren't a fit in working together. And John just didn't feel real comfortable with, how he could make his movie. So he came home, he was very depressed, and he said, I don't think I'm going to be able to make this movie. And I said, well, I've never done this before, but if you want me to try and work with you on it, you can direct it and I'll produce it and manage it and, see what we can do. So I just kind of jumped in full feet and not any idea of what I was getting into.
That's the way to go. I did my first film very much the same way. I hadn't even made a short film or a music video. I just said, it's easy. You put a little bit of money together and you just it's just like planning a wedding times 20 days. You need to feed people. They need to know where to go. You've got to have some people to perform. Yeah.
We'll make a movie. Yes.
Yeah. I definitely learned the hard way. That was that. So when you just jump into something like that, what was the most challenging part? What was the most challenging element of producing a film that you couldn't have predicted before you started?
I suppose it's all the moving pieces and everything that, because basically what John and I decided was he was the director. It was his vision. So that's what he would do. And I basically ran the production. I got the makeup people in, got everyone in the makeup, make sure everyone had the right wardrobe, got all the props, fed everybody, made sure everyone got there on time, worked on the schedule with the DP, so that I hated this idea of having everyone there at 6 o'clock in the morning, even if you weren't going to shoot till 2 in the afternoon. So I tried to stagger people coming in and set that up. So I worked with the DP on the schedule, and as I said, it was just all there. John, take your glasses. It was just all the different moving pieces to it. And one of the things I found, which was good for me, I tend to be very detail oriented, and that is a godsend because you have to be.
Absolutely.
It's all the little things, it's the little thing, it's the devil in the details, it's the little things that will trip you up. I'd always make it a point to go to the location ahead of time, just so I would know how much parking there was, where everyone should park, what was the closest restaurant, could I get them to deliver, how ahead of time do I have to order the food, make sure we had bathrooms, and make sure, I had a place to put the makeup people, and, and our mantra was always, we always would, leave a place cleaner than we found it. And as
you sound like a dream producer, especially for your first time, because there's a lot of it is interesting what you say about scheduling, because there is, quote unquote, a lot of like time being wasted of having people on set sitting around. The big productions that have the luxury of money and multi-million-dollar budgets, they can sort of afford to do it. But when you are on a reduced budget, when you can economically budget and more concisely of people's time, they're much more appreciative of it, because generally people are working for favors or much less than they should be paid on an indie film. I imagine you must be very appreciated that you're trying to minimize the amount of time that anybody had to spend on set.
I was just trying to, so that, because one of the things John has said in this other company that he was going to work with is, Judy, she had people there at 8 a.m. and they didn't go on till 4 p.m, and it's compounding thing, because not only do you have all these people hanging around, you're feeding all these people, and people are getting in the way, and you're having to keep a lot of people quiet. And it just, I said, well, if we schedule it better, those details. And then my makeup people weren't all overloaded at just 2 hours in the morning, because we pace those too, so that get people in the chair and out of the chair and in the chair and out of the chair. And
everyone should have to make their first movie with the acting union, because then you learn very quickly you want to minimize the amount of time that you have somebody on set, because from the minute they sit in the makeup chair, they're on the clock, and your 8 hours runs out from the minute they sit in that chair to however. It's not when they start in front of the camera.
No,
you begin to appreciate very quickly how much scheduling becomes important to balance the budget.
Exactly.
Now, tell me the premise of the film, what the actual plot of the film is.
Premises for 27 Down is a detective basically goes out, had a bad day, goes out, has a few drinks, and in coming home, hits and kills a boy on a bike, but leaves the scene of the crime. Thinks he kills the book. Had hit something, got off, and a little boy over on the side of the road, bike, and he's been killed. So all through the movie, he thinks he's killed the child, and that he just, he can't go to prison, what they do to cops in prison. And he, this is his guilt and his secret through the whole film. And then as the reveal comes in is that he did not kill it. The man's father had killed him and left him there. And then the detective came after the fact and thought he had killed him. So it was a lot of involvement with the mother of the child, the father of the child, the detective, and just how everything plays out that way.
It's a big story, a lot of locations, sizable cast for an indie film. Usually they try to teach you to have 2 or 3 actors at one location, and that's how you're going to survive your indie film. So taking on something this ambitious, what was the biggest challenge in terms of securing a location, or which sort of location and scenes were the most challenging to film?
We really kind of lucked out with our locations, because a lot of we knew a lot of people in the area, so we were able to get. We actually got a whole convenience store to let us shoot in there, and they basically, even during the day, would let us shoot in there during the day, and we had quite a few scenes in there. Well, funny thing about that one, we had. We didn't use real guns, but I got good looking props, and we always, posted someone out, but someone driving by supposedly said they had looked in and saw someone holding a gun on somebody. So reported us to the police, who then showed up, guns blazing, everyone on the floor. And it took us a while to sort that out and explain that, no, they're props. We're just making a movie. Because it was a nice little local thing, because the 3 different local networks all wanted to interview John to find out, how this happened. And it was a learning curve for me, because I realized whenever I'm in a town, especially if we're going to, make believe guns, I then proceeded to notify the local police station, just so you know, this is me. We're shooting a film. We're not using guns.
It's always funny in hindsight, but you watch the news. It could always have gone a different way. But I will say it comes up frequently here on Reveel'd, talking to filmmakers and in conversations with my film friends, and even in the making of my own films. You're not really an independent filmmaker until you've had the police call on you at least once, and usually for using prop guns and in the middle of the night and some robberies.
Right out of the gate, yeah. So that was a good.
But there's also, no such thing as bad publicity. So if all the news wanted to come down, then you just get on a 27 Down t-shirt and stand in front of all those cameras proudly and make sure they plug the website for the film while you're shooting it. Now, this film, this was shot, a number of years ago. And I think is it interesting to have a platform like Reveel'd that, when you made the film, the idea of streaming video didn't really, there was YouTube there, it existed, but it wasn't what it is today in terms of people consuming movies at home. Is it fascinating to find a new home and find a new audience for a movie that you kind of thought maybe had run its cycle?
Well, exactly. It's amazing the people who will text or email to say, by the way, we own another business, which is why we have the money to do this one. And a few of my employees came in and said, I saw your movie on Amazon.Prime the other night. We watched that. I said, really? No one sent me anything for that one, but okay.
No,
but
well, that's a whole different, that's a whole different conversation.
Everything all on itself, yes. But it's just really kind of exciting, kind of surprising, totally surprising that we hear from a lot of different people that, I saw one of your movies last night and we watched it. And, because our big thing after we made the movie, of course, you rent the theater and then you have the big opening night, and that's the movie, and then you try and get it distributed and all that. And it, like you say, it's a world of difference now, just a world.
Yeah, the ability to shoot something on my phone, put it in my laptop, or edit it in my phone, and then hit a button and it magically appears on a website where anyone in the world can watch it, become your own sort of studio and distributor, all from the phone in your pocket. It is a radically different world where there really is no excuse for anybody not to be making movies that they want to. The only thing stopping themselves is their own sort of determination or whatever that thing, that demon that stops people from getting off the couch and pursuing their dreams, because the tools are there, the tools are affordable, and there's never been an easier time.
And it looks surprisingly well, when
it looks incredible. It looks incredible. The tools that are in an iPhone are better than what filmmakers had in the 50s and 60s, and all those movies look great. So yeah, there really is no excuse. Are you still working with John on his films?
We made 4 films and a bunch of small vignettes, and that was our goal, and so we did that, and then it was time to, move on to something else. So,
Wow, a filmmaker who's able to put his gauntlet down.
The pandemic kind of helped do that too.
I admire it. I admire it so much. There'd be days my life would be much better off if I could just turn off that chip in my brain that wanted to make movies. Listen, that's the pandemic was a great eye opener for many people. Even myself, I was living in Los Angeles. My wife's an actress, and we just kind of had this great, it afforded us, besides all the terribleness of people dying and everything that's happening in the world, it gave us the time to pause when we live such busy lives and decide, like, what do we want to be doing artistically? What are the projects we really want to be doing? Where do we want to live? How do we want to approach the next, 5 or 10 years of our careers? And the more artists that I talk to, I find there's all kinds of stories from shifting directions into something new, or just finally picking up that passion project they've sat on forever. I think for all the news fear mongering and all of the bad that truly has happened out of the pandemic, I'm hopeful for a long and steady stream of stories of just beautiful things that have come out of this. All the animals that have been adopted, all the people that got to follow their passion or change careers. I am thankful that out of any adversity there could always come sort of beauty and some kind of wonderment. What I do have to ask you, so you own another business. What do you do? I want to know what a film producer is also skilled at in life.
Medical billing.
Okay.
Which has my attention to detail.
And sounds a heck of a lot more stable. Yes. So when you look back at this project, you took this foray, you jumped into making a film, you got it done, you got it out there, you got to have that big premiere night. What's the biggest takeaway you take out of, like, what goes into producing a film? What anybody who has this passion to make independent film does? What's the biggest takeaway that you have?
I think probably the biggest takeaway is just there are so many great people out there, and so many people who are willing to help you, whether they're willing to work with you on a location or work with you on props or work with you. I mean, I found so often I would just go to someone, sit down, explain what we were doing, and explain independent film. That means no money. This is how it worked. And just people who, well, sure, I could probably help you with this, or I could help you with that. And it was just so many different people in different walks of life who really kind of wanted this little chance to live vicariously while you did this.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone has that dream of, seeing their name up on the screen.
Yep.
And, whether it's location or special thanks to, or, food supplied by, and to be able to give people that opportunity and to have them really appreciate that, and have you be able to help them as much as less so that they're so much more helping you with, getting you stuff and everything. It was really very eye-opening and very exciting and rewarding, to be able to work with so many different people like that. And
couldn't have said it better. The generosity of others for an independent filmmaker, it really, there's a lot of ego in the film industry. A lot of times all of the credit is given to the director or the one or two lead actors, but I've constantly tried to say at every premiere we've ever had, anytime I ever talk about the film, is like, you do not understand that even people who were never on set, that just, maybe, or open the doors to let us use their restaurant as a location or whatever it is, without every single one of those people, the movie would have never been made. So it wouldn't matter if I wrote a good script. It doesn't matter how good of a director I might be. It wouldn't have happened. And it is a great reminder of how kind people can be. And the greatest thing for me is the journey of just being in film is all of my best friends, all of the people I talk to on a daily basis have all essentially come out of working together on projects over the years. You just sort of, it's a really fascinating journey to meeting interesting, creative people that continue to inspire me and make me want to kind of keep going and doing this.
Exactly.
Well, listen, I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. I had a lot of fun watching 27 Down. I hope everyone out there watching this Reveel'd interview, if you're not already subscribed to Reveel'd, reveelmovies.com, reveel'd.net, just go check it out. It's 100% free. You don't have to put a credit card down, and you get access to a brand new streaming platform that has all kinds of great independent content. Independent film, the easiest thing you can do is support it and watch. Let the filmmakers know how much you love it. If you see a good independent short film or feature, tell other people about it. All of these filmmakers have the potential to be the next A-list Hollywood filmmakers. They just need that love and support of getting their films out there. And I know it doesn't have, actor A or actress B in the film, but there are so many amazing stories being told out there that you're missing out on if you're not part of Reveel'd and checking out films like 27 Down. So, Judy, thank you so much for joining us today. And I know that you say that you've taken a different route in life, but I'll wager there's another film that you and John will make at some point. At some point, it's like The Godfather. You'll get called back in. You'll get sucked back into it. Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Take care.